What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Zeal Cigar review, and it's going to be another long video today because I've got some really cool special guests that have been friends of the shop for a really long time and started a cigar company a couple years ago, and it's finally about time for us to invite them into the fold. We'll be talking about S&W Cigars and my two special guests all next on the Zeal Cigar Review. Pops, I promise, this is not the bright light you don't want to see. We're alive and well here. All right, everybody. So these are my special guests. This is the AZ Jim, big pipe guy, big cigar guy, big guitar guy.
I'm good with that.
And this is his dad, Jackson, his partner in crime in the company, S&W. And I'm going to let them kind of tell you guys a little bit about what S&W stands for, what the company is, tell us about the cigars that we have on the table, and then we'll do what we do best, cut, light, and smoke. So, Jim.
I like that.
Yes, sir.
The AZ Jim on Instagram.
That is I.
I love, dude, this guy, listen, I got to tell this story real quick.
Oh, no.
And if I can find the video, I might even, steal it and use it in this. Jim also uses snuff.
Nasal snuff.
Yes. And dude, I watch him do this strong stuff one day, and then the next video is him just dancing in his backyard, no shirt on, like all the lights going on the Instagram post, like just flashing, and he's just back there dancing. So
and I think I have my Daisy Duke shorts on too, and my cowboy boots.
Oh God, the image of that. Oh,
it was a good time.
See, and I thought I was the child of the '60s, man.
So we love Jim. He's a great dude. Go check his Instagram out, get a good laugh, see what he's up to, and then tell us about this cigar company that you guys decided to start, S&W Cigars.
Well, it started middle of the whole quarantine, so like 2022-ish.
Okay.
Started getting invited to a bunch of the virtual HERFs through Zoom and stuff like that were special people only, and people started inviting me to them. Well, I'm very special. But no, I met a guy named Fred Espinal, and we hit it off right out the gate, and we started talking away from all the virtual HERFs, and started talking about some ideas about having an Arizona Jim cigar, and nothing really came of it. And then in December of 2023, Fred reached out specifically to say, hey, what are we doing? You going to shit or get off the pot? And I said, okay. So, well, let's go over the details of it. And he laid it all out. So then I went over to my business partner and presented him with an idea and with the financial implications, the investment and everything else. He asked me a couple questions like, why? And
are you insane?
No. Just why? What's the impetus?
What's the purpose?
What was the purpose for it? And up until that point, Dad and I had been business partners and still are business partners in a consulting firm in the guitar manufacturing industry.
Okay.
As a consultant, you go in and you help fix other people's businesses. You help streamline processes, improve products, all that kind of stuff. But you're doing it for somebody else. And while it is fulfilling and it's a lot of fun, it's still for somebody else.
Yep.
And so when he asked why, I said, this is a way for you and I to do something that is for us. That is going to be ours. And if we're successful, maybe it becomes a secondary family legacy from the guitars that he's been involved in for 95 years.
Hey. Not that old.
Now,
only in my 70s.
And now we'll venture into cigars, and if it works out, then we'll have a legacy there. And if not, we're going to get some great cigars. We're going to have a great time. We're going to meet some great people and see how it goes.
Yeah, that was the really cool thing. I got to tell you, from the very start. So he'd been involved in the cigar community,
the pipe community, very heavily. Like I said, I've known Jim for 6 years or more.
But I hadn't. I met a couple of people, but when we decided to do this and got involved, man, the acceptance and it reminded me of the music community that I'm in.
Okay,
guitar players. You get guitar players together and you start jamming, and it's like you've known each other for years. And that's how this was. I was just welcomed in, and I started learning so much so quickly. So it's been an absolute joy, something that I didn't expect at this stage of my career.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, tell me about the 2 cigars we're going to be smoking today, and there is a third one, and we'll add that one to the list as well. But today we're all, you guys are smoking the 2 Connecticut's, I'm smoking the Habano, and I'll have Jim tell you guys about them, and then we'll get into it.
Well, when we first went into it, after we agreed that we were going to do it and that he was going to pony up the big paycheck to get things going, there's several different ways you can go about it. I've been very transparent since the beginning. We didn't reinvent the wheel with these blends.
Fair enough.
But I was able to work with Fred at Hanley's Cigar Company out in the Dominican Republic to find blends that met our criteria. So I gave him a list of profiles, flavor profiles, tasting notes, what we wanted, and then he sent us a crap ton of samples.
Just smoke it till that palate's
and we didn't expect. We expected, look, this is going to take several months. We'll get this batch of samples and that batch of samples, and then eventually we'll hone it down. But as it turned out,
no, and that was one thing that him and I agreed on very, very quickly in the beginning of this process. We have no time frame.
Yeah.
So if it takes us 6 months to find the blends for us, then it takes us 6 months.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, the very first batch of samples, Pops is the Connecticut guy.
Yeah, that's a good Connecticut too. Definitely more on the fuller, it's medium side, I would say.
Not your atypical.
Yeah, it's not smooth and sweet it's smooth, but it's not overly light and airy, and like there's nothing to it like a lot of other Connecticut's in the industry.
Well, the other thing is,
flavor.
The thing is that the transition from the first third to the second third, it had. Typically, Connecticut's are very stable.
Yeah,
very, I don't want to say one-dimensional, but they are, which I'm okay with. There's a lot of times, after a meal, I want to have something that's just light and complimentary, but I always wanted something that I could experience just a little bit more without having to go to a heavier cigar,
like that LSD or something a little bit stronger. Yeah.
So.
And that was one of the big things with talking with Fred about the Connecticut that I had to have. It could not be just your run-of-the-mill, average, ordinary Connecticut. It had to be something that was special. And look, there's a lot of good Connecticut's out there.
Yeah.
This is not the only really good Connecticut out there. But we wanted something that we knew right out the gate was going to elevate it above that middle of the road.
Yeah.
And as soon as he smoked what became the El Maestro, and as soon as the sample that I smoked of the El Cantante Habano, it was lights out. Those are the ones. And we wanted to have the idea of we can't be so specific to what our individual desires are in a cigar, because if that were, well, I think that we kind of went 70% us, 30% masses.
That's fair.
Because these had to represent our tastes.
Yes.
But I know a lot of people,
and our individuality. They had to represent who we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something we're going to be passionate about and go, dude, you got to smoke one of these. Because if it was like, this is, we have a really nice cigar, kind of like everybody else's nice cigar, is not going to work for me. It's got to be something where I go, dude, I know you don't, but I know you don't normally smoke a Connecticut, but I'm telling you, if you smoke this one, you're going to add a Connecticut to your taste profile.
Yep.
And that's what we found. But it's something, as you can tell, it's something we're passionate about because we believe in them. And I'll have to tell you the story of how we came up with the names.
Yeah.
We'll get there, but I want to get into these a little bit, and then we can continue the conversation. Jim got ahead of me.
My bad.
And already cut the cigar.
I did. Oh, I screwed up. I screwed the pooch.
You know the rules.
I know the rules.
Well, you guys know what me and Jackson got to do, because he already did it. But in order to find out what these S&W cigars smoke and taste like, you know what we got to do. We got to cut light and
smoke.
There we go. They're a little off, but we got it. It works. It's always
I
an
need a
adventure.
drummer to hold the beat down.
Yeah, right.
I'm a guitar player, man. Come on.
Son of a! I can't believe. As soon as you said that, I went blooper reels.
You've been around here how long?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
I just want to throw my
Over there in the ashtray.
I didn't see
That's
the
what the ashtray is
I don't have my
for.
freaking glasses on. Excuse me.
Habanos are probably the cigars that I generally pick up the least. It's the one of yours that I like the most.
Now, here's my question: Why is Habano one that you pick up the least?
The way that I talk to people about tobacco when I'm like really, really dumbing it down and trying to explain it to somebody who's like, hey, just talk to me like I'm really new, really fresh, and I know Jack Diddley.
Hey, don't use my name in vain.
So I talk about Habano tobacco as being like a teenager that's going, a kid in their teenage years.
Mm-hmm.
You could get one that's like super sweet and they love you to death and they're your best friend in the world, but then you could get one that's spicy and they're like, I hate you, Dad, don't ever come back here again. I want to leave. So Habanos are you could get one or the other from them, right? So, and yours leans more to that sweeter, natural tobacco notes, a little bit of like a caramel and some nuttiness. And I really, really enjoy it. It's not overpowering. There's not too much dirty bite. There's not too much pepper or spice or anything that is overpowering. It's a very balanced Habano. And one of my favorite Habanos right now is the new CLE Habano. It's got some Colombian tobacco in it.
I have not had that one yet.
This is a little bit better in a sense of it's got a little bit more to it, whereas the new CLE one is a little bit sweet and airy.
Okay.
Whereas this has a little bit more body and a little bit more of that natural tobacco-ness to it that I really enjoy. So this is a very good Habano. One of my favorite cigars.
And that was one of the things when I was working with Fred at the factory on finding the blend for the Habano was, for me personally, for those out there that know me, the spicier the better.
Yeah.
The more pepper. I want a pepper cigar to just blow my head off. And
What were you talking about the other day? The Lars Teton stuff?
yes, yes. But I do know, after being around cigar smokers and being around the industry, being involved in the community for almost 12, 13 years now, a lot of people that stay away from Habanos is because they're afraid that it's going to blow their head off, that it's going to be too overpowering, that they're going to get overwhelmed and they're not going to enjoy it. But they enjoy the flavors that they get out of it, but the strength, the pepper, the spice, they can't hang with it. They don't like it. It's harsh. And so when I was working with Fred on trying to describe the flavor profile, was basically, I want this cigar to really appeal to both sides. I want it to appeal to people that really like Habanos because it's going to have great flavor. It has to be a flavor bomb, but it needs that pepper side, that harshness side needs to be toned way back. I wanted somebody that was hesitant or had bad experiences with a Habano to be able to approach it and enjoy it. And I wanted that seasoned smoker that loves traditional Habanos. They're also going to be able to like this and appreciate this because it's got that bold flavors to it.
It's very flavorful.
And so I basically told him, tone down the spiciness, tone down the harshness, elevate, and bring up the flavor profile. And out of all the samples, he said, these are all samples that are in the wheelhouse of what we discussed. Something in there should hit that sweet spot that you're looking for. And lo and behold, he was 1,000% right. That first batch, we found the El Maestro and the El Gigante.
Okay.
And we were off and running.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got a really high proof malted whiskey in front of me, and I don't want to drink it right now.
Why?
Because it's actually taking away from the flavor of the cigar.
Oh.
And I would rather enjoy the cigar on its own than to pair it and kill it with the bourbon. I actually like the taste of the cigar enough that I don't want to drink the bourbon with it, because of how much it actually ruined how well this cigar tasted.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, I will not drink the rest of that bourbon with this cigar.
That is very interesting because I've had a lot of people that that have paired it with whiskeys and bourbons that are like, oh, it's amazing for them.
I would imagine this is a good bourbon pair. This one is not a good pair.
Now,
This is a 60% malted kind of a chocolate whiskey.
Yeah.
It's not the right pairing with this cigar. This would be better with like a Buffalo Trace, something with some nice light vanilla caramel notes. Angel's Envy, something like that, right? But yeah, it's not very often that I like a cigar enough to stop drinking what I'm drinking.
All the years I've watched your videos, I don't think I've ever seen you not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a testament to
Thank
how much
you.
I like this Habano. Yeah, no, I won't touch the rest of that bourbon because of that. That's it. So there's... You better be doing a fucking wheelie. You gonna come by my studio like that, you better do a wheelie. I'm a big fan of like the Perdomo Lot 23 to me is a very natural tasting cigar. The Sun Grown specifically is a very natural tasting cigar. It's got that natural sweetness, that natural tobacco. You get a little bit of the earthy, the nuttiness. This one reminds me of that. It's got that natural tobacco sweetness, just super tasty. So Kevin brought us some water. Has he told you about this yet?
You told me about this water.
Did you try it
last week? Yeah.
You tried it last time?
You gave me about 11.
Okay.
And it was wow. I was not expecting water to do that. That is for sure.
Okay. So we got the El Maestro and the El Cantante.
Yep.
What does that mean? Because this idiot doesn't know anything about music or whatever those are potentially related to. So you got to tell me how you came up with the name El Maestro and El Cantante.
So it's kind of a funny story. One of the things when we first started this, we wanted the company to represent our passions, our lifestyles. So we had to include, I mean, both he and I have been in bands together since he was 15 years old. We've recorded albums together. We're also big fans, even though neither one of us own right now, of fucking badass cars.
Yeah.
You know, classic cars, hot rods, rat rods. I mean, you know, go to car shows. We got buddies that you know, restore cars and are in modding and all that. And so I told him the cigars have to represent us in how we brand it, how we present it. It has to be part of our, we don't want this just to be, okay, we're going to have cigars. We want it to be, you know,
Got to have your DNA on it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, I remember.
Speaking of which, I don't know if you can notice, but the band also, it's not just an and symbol. That is a specific music note that this idiot doesn't know what it's called. So please educate me right now.
It's called a treble clef.
Treble clef. There we go. I went to music class one time.
No, and that was one of the conversations that we had at the very beginning was, you know, traditional ideology in the cigar industry is that traditional cigar band, traditional marketing, traditional imagery of what most people think of cigars, and it immediately was like, that ain't us.
No.
I don't want to say that we're the you know, rebellious hellions here, but we aren't tradition when it comes to certain things, and we wanted it to be truly who we are, about who we are.
We had a conversation the other day when you were here, and there was a comparison to Matt Booth a little bit.
Oh, I did not compare myself to Matt Booth at all.
No, but as far as your style and the kind of vibe that you want to portray in this industry and the way that you wanted your brand to represent who you guys are as individuals as well as who you are together, I think kind of speaks to that quirkiness and that differentness that somebody like Matt Booth possesses in an industry like cigars that can be kind of stagnant in some aspects. You know, like there's some fresh faces out there that have really started kind of refreshing the industry a little bit, and it's been really good. But for the most part, like it can be very linear. You know, there's one way to do things, and the old guys are going to do it that way.
Suit and ties, and you got to have some old wrinkly Cuban dude on your cigar band, and you got to have the traditional looking aged cigar bands and stuff like that. And yeah, in that respect, when it comes to like Room 101. Definitely, you're never going to see Matt Booth wearing a fucking suit and tie.
No, he's got the chain hanging like, he's got the wallet chain.
He is a straight up SoCal, LA, just laid back, just who he is. And that's very much the ideology without thinking about it and without comparing at the beginning. We just automatically felt like, and from my social media stuff and doing the videos that I used to do on YouTube, I always felt, and watching videos, the videos that I always gravitated back to watching were the ones that felt genuine. Authenticity. And that was essentially, without us saying those words, it was, we need to be authentically just who we are.
Yeah.
And if people don't like it, fuck you, we're going to go hang out with other people. You know, no harm,
other people like us too. So,
there's plenty of guys with old cars, plenty of guys playing guitars, baby.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. But we're gonna go play. We're gonna go play over here with these guys.
So, when we were talking about, okay, well, what are we gonna name these different cigars? What are we gonna, how are we gonna? And I said, I haven't got a fucking clue. So, I fall asleep, and I've been working on a new album. We're getting ready to record a new album. I've been thinking about it. So, I have dreams about music all the time. So, in my dream, I'm sitting there at a jam session with a few famous guitar players and everything, and one of them goes, hey man, let's have a cigar. He goes, you should have one of your own here, Maestro. And I went, what? And he goes, yeah, here's the El Maestro. And I went, ooh,
what's he doing with my cigar?
And so for those of you that don't know the Spanish translation, El Maestro is like the conductor or the leader of the band, or the teacher in the band, or whatever. And I went, wow. And I said, so what does that make his cigar? And he goes, he's the singer. I go, singer. So when I woke up, I went, singer, El Cantante. And I went, oh, okay, that's how we roll. So we decided they represented us even in their name.
Yep.
Of the cigar.
Wow.
Now, to finish the story,
there's a third cigar, right?
Well, there is a third cigar.
Yeah.
In the initial naming of these two, I get up super early.
Yeah.
And go to work early.
Tim's one of the only other people I can send messages to at 4 a.m. and I know he's awake.
Yeah. And he's 3/4 retired. I usually, if he's going to shoot me a text, it's usually going to be around, like, I don't know, fucking noon. Well, he sends me a text.
That's because I'm up in the studio sometimes until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, too. But
he sends me a text. It's like 5:15 in the morning. He goes, hey, if you got a minute, call me. So I call him, and it's that early in the morning. I'm thinking, what the hell's going on?
He didn't go to sleep. Why is he awake?
Yeah. So I call him. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He goes, I had a dream. I know the name of the cigars. I was like, really? What? And he goes, mine's the El Maestro, yours is the El Cantante. He told me what they meant, and I went, God dang it, we got it.
Dude, sometimes that stuff can come to you in some weird ways and times, man.
I mean, it was just, when I woke up, I just went, oh, fuck, this is awesome. And I just wish I remembered who the famous guitar player that introduced me to him, because I don't remember. But it was one of the dead classic guys, I'm sure.
Yeah. See, I've never really had... Brad used to have dreams like that, too. Like legit would have dreams like that. I've never experienced anything like that where I've woken up with that kind of a premonition.
I feel like, knowing him my entire life, I feel like, and having known Brad for years, I feel like people that are really connected to that ultra creative side of their brain...
Yeah, Brad was. Yeah, very much
really have those kinds of dreams, those kinds of premonitions, if you will.
Yeah.
Where they just, it's very hard for, like, when it comes to music, it's very, very hard for him. If he's got an idea brewing in his head, he'll be up all night long trying to figure out where does it go. I've got this little 30-second clip that I keep replaying in my head
I
all
got a
night.
guitar right next to my bed. I grab the guitar and just start.
And then where does it go from here? How do I go from, oh, okay, so I got that part. And then, oh, now I got this part. He'll lay in bed and just think about it, or have dreams about it. And he'll wake up and go, that's it. And he'll grab his guitar and he'll work it out and go, okay, I can now go back to sleep. I really think that people that are really ultra connected to that creative side, I get that every once in a while, but not to that.
I'm really, if I practice, or not practice, but if I actually really like consciously start thinking about it and kind of doing it, I can be a really vivid, lucid dreamer, but not in the way of like, I get ideas like that. Like I can solve problems, and like, if I need to work on a car and I broke something and I need to figure out if I can fix it and I need to work that out, like I could do that in my head while I'm vividly dreaming, or a woodworking project.
Yeah.
But as far as like just waking up with like a name of a cigar or an idea or anything like that, I've never really had that. Like that's a really
I
crazy
actually
experience.
come up with lyrics.
Yep.
I'll wake up and go, oh, and now I do it on my phone and I just start typing. I got to remember these lines. So one of the songs on the new album, I got this inspiration for the lyrics of the song. Turned out it's all from the Lord of the Rings series. And the song is all about Frodo and his whole emotional thing that he goes through with the ring and how he becomes disillusioned. I won't get into all of it, but I'm dreaming this, and I woke up and okay, blah, 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 and I'm typing like crazy. And then I couldn't go back to sleep, and I go, okay, where does this fit in the music that I just wrote, you know? And I get that a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
Crazy people.
Well, and I'm more like you in where I dream in more processes.
Okay, yeah, that's
So
how
like when you're talking about like
I'm more like a
you got
Tesla
working on a
dreamer.
car, working on a woodwork. There's
How do
a
I fix the
process.
guitar?
You know, yeah, there's a process, whether it be business stuff, you know, different projects that you have going on. It's going through the process of, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to check this, I need to check that, I need to make sure that's good, I need to make sure that's good. It's more process driven, whereas he's more of that like
he's creative.
Yeah.
Like you said. Yeah, that's interesting. I never really thought about stuff that way.
it's really weird because
More left brain.
I have that business analytical side, but that part of it I have to work at during the day. You know, it's like I can sit down with a computer and go through spreadsheets and do accounting and all that. But as soon as I'm away from it, it's gone. I don't think about it. The music side, cigars, cars, it's constantly going through my head of, oh man, back when I was younger, I mean, I remember my first car that I really worked a lot on was a 65 Mustang, late plastic blue. I mean, I put Pirellis on it, hijackers, you know, put a dual Holly carb in there. And I used to lay in bed and go, okay, gee, I want to. So I had the skull for the shifter and the feet for I wanted to just trick it out, make it mine. And this is in the 60s, and people are looking at me going, what the fuck are you doing to this car? And I'm going,
That's a
man,
Mustang!
it's a classic. You keep it classic. I know, man, that's jacked up, and it got smaller tires on the front, the big fucking wide tires on the back. And they were like, why you doing? I go, that's badass, and I love driving this thing, man. I used to drive it to gigs.
Well,
I'd throw my amp in the back, and
that was probably before a lot of people were hot rodding them.
Started
Because
racing
when you like, if you look at the original Mustangs, they weren't.
Grandma
hot
was
rod.
driving them, dude.
I know.
They were cruisers.
Yeah,
I know.
My grandma had two of those 65 blue powdered blue, like
Yeah.
powdered blue ones, and those are the ones that she drove.
Yeah, they were like cruisers.
Little
And-
289 in it.
that was like 1969, 1970.
Yeah, so the car was 4 years old,
Yeah.
5 years old. I mean, it's not a classic car yet. Nobody,
it wasn't.
Nobody knew that it was a classic car.
No, not.
But people were looking at you crazy because it's like that's a cruiser.
Yeah.
That's not a.
I did the same thing to a 63 Comet in 1974. It just, well, so back up. When I was a kid, I grew up in Southern California, and I lived in a city called Upland, which is right by Pomona, all of that. But it was also very close to a city called Fontana, where they had drag racers. The big,
Okay.
rails. And I used to go there with my buddies all the time, and we'd go watch, you know, the Fontana drag races. And man, I used to always go, oh, I love those big tires. There was an artist named Big Daddy Roth, and he used to do all these, you know, modified drawings of cartoon characters, you know, smoking a cigar and, you know, get a guitar, and he's sitting in this car that's all compressed and jacked up and all white. And I just went, oh man, I got to do that.
Just loved everything about it.
And part of my lifestyle for a long time, like I said, I don't own one anymore. You know, at some point in time when computers got introduced to cars and everything, it became harder and harder to work on them.
Bro.
And I can't afford those classic cars no more, man. But luckily we got buddies that all do that.
Yeah.
So we go over to their place and live vicariously through
Drool
them.
all over their cars and bikes and
Yep.
Yeah.
Our buddy
all their
Rick.
toys.
Our buddy Rick and his,
And his crew.
his toys. Oh,
Man.
My first car was a 72 Chevelle. Right? Malibu, 4-door, bench seats. I could take that whole car apart and put it back together with like 4 wrenches and a freaking pair of pliers, dude.
Yep.
pliers were essential back then.
And so my grandfather owned an automotive business for 50 years.
Oh, wow.
Automotive
I
and
didn't know
towing.
that.
Yeah. Very well known in Ohio, in the Dayton area. And so I grew up, when my grandparents would babysit me, that side of the family was Jehovah's Witness. So I had a choice. I could go knock on doors with grandma, or I could go work at the shop with grandpa.
Yeah.
I chose to work
Not a
at the
hard
shop
choice.
with grandpa. You know, knocking on doors as a kid wasn't exactly appealing to me. So I grew up working on cars, and we had an uncle that made moonshine.
Oh, damn.
And
That's a great combo.
the first couple gallons that came off of that would go to my grandfather. And that's what we would use to clean the tools.
No. Yep.
And then he would spray it in the
That's some
carburetors.
heavy alcohol content.
Yep.
We would spray it in the carburetors instead of using ether. I'd be damned if those weren't the cleanest carburetors on the planet after
fuck
that
yeah,
shit
man.
went through it.
I got it.
Boom! Ain't nothing in that carburetor no more.
No.
Matter of fact, we might have to fix the carburetor. Thing blew up. Yeah, it was fun, man.
awesome, man.
So cars are one of the things that I have a soft spot for too. So like when I saw your guys' logo the first time you came in, I saw the green car sitting behind it, and I was like, yeah, bro, let's go.
Well, and that was when I initially designed, and it was very juvenile. I'm not an expert with Photoshop at all. But I kind of pieced together some ideas, and then Fred at the factory was like, hey, send over the idea to my guy here at the factory. He designed cigar bands for almost all of our clients. And I went, okay. So I sent him over, and he turned my very rough idea into a legit, respectable logo and cigar band.
Yeah, I think it looks cool. So there's a third cigar that you guys have, the Maduro, that's not we don't have out here right now.
Yes, yeah, the El Bajo.
El Bajo, what's that mean?
The El Bajo means the bass.
The slap in the bass.
Well, and it relates right back to the cigar too, because the El Bajo is a much heavier. So in a band, you know, or in any kind of music, the bass is what holds down that heavy. It hits you in the fucking chest, and it fucking drives you. So
Well, the El Bajo is, out of the three, is the beefiest of the three.
Yeah, it's a thicker Maduro.
However, again, a lot of people that I've known over the years stayed away from a lot of those because they were just too much.
Yeah, some of the Maduros.
Too much. I mean, one of my favorite Maduros of all time is the Camacho Triple Maduro. So I like a beefy. I want to chew the smoke. Yes, I learned that from Brad.
From Brad. Dude, bro, I wish I could have let. There's no way he could have left half the edits in of him chewing smoke, dude.
Nope.
Because it was literally like.
Yep.
It was so loud, bro. It was the loudest thing ever to sit next to. I'll have to go back and watch some of the old videos and just see how much it actually.
you're inspiring me. I may have to come up with a song about chewing the smoke.
Dang it, dude.
That's
There
a
we
good
go.
line.
There we go. But no, it is out of the three. It is the beefiest. It is the boldest. But again, like with the other two, I wanted it to appeal to both sides of the playground, if you will. I wanted people that really don't smoke a whole lot of Maduros to be able to enjoy it and not be overwhelmed and not be scared of it.
Yeah.
And then I wanted people like myself that I love a super, super strong Maduro. But if I smoke a cigar that's a Maduro that's not like that, and it has a lot of great flavors to it, and I can still kind of get some of that thicker smoke feel in my mouth all day long.
Yeah, it does produce quite a bit of smoke. I've only smoked the one. I'll have to smoke it again. But from what I remember, it was definitely hearty, a little bit of smoke.
Yep.
But it wasn't off-putting. There wasn't an overpowering.
It's still smooth. It's still, I mean, for a Maduro, it's still fairly smooth. And the way that I look at it is we've got the El Maestro, which is like a light plus.
Yep.
We've got the El Cantante that's like dead nuts in the middle, straight up medium. And then we have the El Bajo that's like
Leaning.
a medium plus.
Leaning.
It's
leaning.
definitely more towards the full, but it's not all the way there yet.
No, I could give it to somebody that's a fairly newer smoker, and it's not going to be one of the ones that makes them go, oh,
Yeah.
and turn Pinocchio colored. You know?
Exactly.
Well, and that's so for me.
Yeah, 'cause
You
you're
know,
a Connecticut smoker.
I'm a Connecticut smoker, and I'm more of a social smoker. I'm not one to go out by myself out back and have a cigar by myself. But as soon as I'm with a group of friends, when I used to travel a lot, it was always after the job was done. We always went to a lounge, got some cigars, got some drinks, talked about everything that was going on, talked music, talked
Wind it
shop,
down.
winding down, and you always had to have a good cigar. And I wanted something that, man, for my buddies that didn't smoke cigars or hadn't smoked cigars in a while, our drummer was that way, hadn't smoked a cigar in like 15, 20 years.
Yep.
And after rehearsal one day, he goes, "Well, let me try one of your cigars." Now he's buying them and he's smoking them on whenever we get together.
Yeah.
I mean, after rehearsal, the four of us will get together. I got some nice sipping whiskey.
And
We'll sit around.
Sambuca.
Yeah, or I'm a big Sambuca fan.
You know what? This actually would pair well with Sambuca.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't
You gotta
say
have
that
the
a lot
three
about...
coffee beans in the Sambuca, just so you know. For
Hold on.
luck and...
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
So I grew up in a Greek household. Lots of ouzo. Mm-hmm. No coffee beans in the ouzo.
No,
bro.
not in ouzo.
So all the Greeks are pissed right now. What's with the coffee beans?
The coffee beans, so the first time that I toured Italy, I went on a clinic tour in Italy, and I'm a big Sambuca, and I love ouzo. I'm a licorice
Okay.
guy. I love licorice. In fact, people around my house always look at me because I'm Dutch. In the Dutch culture, we have what's called zoutedrol, which is salted licorice.
Salted
And
licorice.
Sometimes it's like double salted licorice.
Yep.
It's so salty. It's not.
amazing.
And so having ouzo is like, I get my licorice fix. But when I went to Italy and I said, I want to get some nice Italian Sambuca after dinner, have a cigar, and so I ordered some Sambuca, and the first thing I noticed, it had coffee beans in it. I'm going, and they says, oh yeah, you have to drink the Sambuca with the coffee beans. So I went, okay. And ever since then, I can't drink them without. But what I found out is the 3 coffee beans are also like a good luck thing.
Huh.
That when you're drinking it, but it also, because of the slight coffee taste that it puts in there, it complements the cigars and the chocolatey coffee type taste in it's just really complimentary. So next time I come out, I'll bring some Sambuca and some fresh, because my wife and I grind our own coffee. So we buy coffee by the raw beans and grind it right before we have coffee.
Kevin, we got to drink Sambuca with coffee beans in it and pair it with cigars.
We're on the list.
Darn.
But that's my
Okay.
go-to. That's my go-to drink with a cigar is a Sambuca with 3 coffee beans.
Wow.
And you just sip on the Sambuca and enjoy the cigar, and it just complements it.
Now I want to try it with ouzo.
I've never tried it with ouzo,
It's
but I'm
got to be similar to the
Yeah,
Sambuca,
it's
right?
got-
Well, is ouzo the same consistency?
It's the same consistency, but it's more.
not as thick, I would
it's
say.
not as thick, but it definitely has a liqueur consistency.
It's got legs.
Yeah.
It'll coat inside of a glass.
Okay.
What's crazy about it, when you might have first had ouzo back in the day,
it still had opium in it.
Yeah. I wasn't going to talk about that.
What?
But
Yeah, dude. So like you being in the Navy, right? So they would dock in Greece.
Yeah.
And then they would go in mainland, and my uncle he was a bartender, and he would always have to tell them, "Hey, you soldier, one who's so," because they would drink 2 or 3 and they'd be on the floor because they still had a little bit of opium in it.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
Yeah, dude. So all the sailors would dock and go to Greece, dude, and just pass out.
See, now I never heard of that because I wasn't East Coast. I was West Coast, so we went to all the Asian countries. We didn't go to Europe.
You might, by the time
So
you
we
were,
had-
it might not have had opium in it anymore.
Yeah.
We had all the stories about absinthe,
Yeah, dude. The wormwood, bro.
where there were places that before you hit port, you have this big port brief, and they would tell you to stay away from this bar, this bar, this bar, because they had like the legit absinthe that would make you fucking go crazy. And of course, where do all the stupid squids go?
Right there, baby.
Right to all the places that the command says don't go.
My brother,
That's where we go because that's where the fun's at.
my buddy brought me a bottle back from the Philippines.
Ooh.
Yeah, he smuggled it back when he was in the Marine Corps. He was stationed
sure
in.
you want to say that on the air?
Yeah. He brought it back from Osaka.
Ah.
He was in Japan, and I guess they took a leave to Philippines because you can literally pay like $5 and drink the whole bar under the table in the Philippines. So they were in the Philippines for like a week. And
Yeah,
then,
Thing, Thailand, where I went.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the Philippines. We went to
I haven't been
Thailand.
to the
and
Philippines either. Been all over Asia, but Philippines is someplace I haven't.
Same. In Thailand, they've got Black Cat whiskey, Thai whiskey.
Good?
So good.
Yeah?
Do not mix it with Tang. Not good.
That's so random. Why were you mixing it? First off, was the Tang in Thailand?
Not that kind of Tang. But the
We're not talking about the orange drink?
Wow,
Yes.
this conversation
Yes.
is really
the orange drink. So what happened was I had duty, and I wanted to. I'd done my watch, and I was watching movie. I'd stood my duty for the day, and I was going to watch movies and have a little bit of whiskey, but I didn't want to just drink straight whiskey. And we were all out of sodas, so I had the next best thing. I mixed up some Tang, and then I poured in some Black Cat, and went, ah!
oh god.
Went, threw it off over the side, put the whiskey away, and wallowed in my sorrows of not being able to enjoy some whiskey. So don't mix it with Tang. It's not good.
So, I want to say, I kind of should have said this a little bit earlier. These guys are local, right? So something that got me kind of sparked into like wanting to, one, I'm in a position to actually be able to support and carry these guys. And number two,
Which we are
not support
extremely
in that
excited
way,
about.
but like give support
Yeah,
too.
and we're excited about that.
But also, there's a lot of Phoenix is like the number 3 market in the world right now for cigars.
Yep.
It's absolutely
Wow.
blowing up. It might be number 4 if you count Germany, UK, stuff like that, right? But the Phoenix is a very, very, very big cigar market right now. And there's a lot of people here that I've been learning through some men's groups and through some grapevines. There's a lot of people wanting to start their own brands here. And I've got one brand, Sisters and Sticks, that's local, already on my shelf, which is flavored. And then I have another one that's in the chamber waiting. I'm just waiting for some logistical things on his stuff before I can put it on the shelf. And that brand's called Tavari. That's a really good Mexican San Andreas cigar. And then I was like, I know other people that are local that have a cigar company that I want to support and have really good cigars. I called you guys.
Yes,
Said,
you did.
Tim, I think it's time, baby. I think it's time. So that was the other thing is like, now there's going to be a specific section here that I can support guys like you that are local here in Phoenix in a hot cigar market. So when somebody comes into the lounge, I go, you want to support local guys? You want to support the big guys? And honestly, like, I'm excited that like legitimately you're the second one on the shelf.
Oh, we're extremely excited.
Very
I
excited.
mean, technically you're the third. The other one's not on the shelf yet, but like, yeah, you guys are like the second ones that I'm putting on the
I'll
shelf
still
for
take
this.
third. I'll still take third. I mean, it
So-
was something that you and I had talked about
I'm excited.
briefly last year, and I knew that it was planting the seed, and that when you were in a position to be able to do it, and when it made sense for you to bring us in, that you would give me a call. You would hit me up. And once you started telling me about this, the Arizona local, it's one thing to go into a lounge and you see like the craft cigar section.
Or the house brands, right?
Yeah. Well, not even like the house brands, but like you go in and you see the Blackbirds, Family by Loyalties, even Room 101 up until last year.
Yeah.
Was still considered part of the craft community. And there's a bunch of other ones that are around.
Yeah. Those guys,
Sagrado.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many of them, and there's a lot of lounges that I'm finding, even here in Phoenix, that are really... There's more lounges that are really kind of embracing that.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see this develop over the last year and a half, 2 years, where this craft market is really is starting to make some noise. And it's changing how lounges approach things. It's changing what cigars lounges carry. It's making them have to really think about, well, this bigger brand makes me spend this much money. I can go and get smaller brands that don't have that kind of, and I'm supporting small business. I'm supporting veteran-owned business. And then you're taking it to that next level where you're going, not only is this a craft area, but this is a specific to local Arizona.
Yep. And
that's what's really cool with what you're doing is really showcasing what we're doing here in Arizona in the cigar industry. Like you said, I mean, Phoenix is such a hot spot, and there's so many people that are wanting to get into it, and they're finding out that, it doesn't take $100,000 to start.
No, it's more doable than most people think. It's a pain in the ass, but it's more doable than people think.
The thing is, though, is what I've found is you have to find the right lens, and you have to find the right
guy at the factory.
Yeah, we were really lucky. Fred has been just amazing for us. We don't have to go travel to the Dominican to, go to the factory and check the quality and all. Man, he's on it. We haven't had any bad experiences. It's been absolutely amazing. And one of the things that we really got excited about is because for us, we've been very slow growing our brand organically because we want people that show the same passion.
Yep.
And, the first time that I met you, I went, oh my God, I met a brother from another mother who fucking is as passionate about whether it be and I call it my obsessions. When I get into something, it becomes my addiction, my obsession, that it's got to be fucking cool. And I want to work with that. It's like when I work with another guitar player and they go, oh, check this out. Oh man. And next thing you know, we're writing and we're riffing and I'm learning and he's learning. Because there's an educational part of this.
Yeah.
And we don't want to just put our cigars on a shelf where they just become one of another. Oh, see, we got a bunch of cigars over here. Check them out. We want someone that can talk about them and go, man, I've smoked these. I've tasted them, man. Here's what they're all about. Here's what the guys are all about doing.
And they're local.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's working with people that are not just as passionate about it, but people that are...
They care.
The people that care and
they care about your brand.
They want to tell the story.
Yeah, and there's too many cigars in there where somebody like you could get lost in that, which is important. And that's a really important thing for somebody when they're putting out a cigar, right? Like if you don't find the right partnerships, the right people to support your cigars, right? Like people forget Fuente is Fuente because one small shop in Chicago blew them up.
Yeah.
Yep.
If it wasn't for that one small shop in Chicago, Fuente might not be Fuente, right? So like when you create those partnerships with the right people and you can grow the brand organically and listen, this doesn't have to be sold to 1 million people all over the place, right?
No.
But if now we've just struck a chord with every single person that comes in and supports this business because of what it is now going to be as likely to support a local business because of what it is. Yep. And all we're doing is growing the brotherhood together. And there's nothing wrong with that.
And it's the same thing in the music business. You hear the stories about a band that puts out a record and they're just a local band struggling, trying to push it. And then a local, back in the day when they had real DJs and everything, back in the day. But I mean, so many bands were discovered because some DJ went, oh man, I love this, I got to play this, even though it's not on my regular playlist. And
just threw it on the radio.
Yeah, threw it on. One of the examples was,
Hey, what was that song you played, dude?
yeah, one of the songs I recently found out, a buddy of mine has been the guitar tech for the Doobie Brothers for the last 20, 30 years. There's a song that they did during their transition thing called Black Water.
Yeah.
And it was a B-side. It almost didn't make the record. It was a B-side of a single and everything. And one DJ heard it and went, fuck the A-side. Man, this is fucking amazing. Just kept playing it. And then he got more and more people calling, hey, can you play that Black Waters? Next thing you know, it hits #1 on the fucking chart. And it was a B-side.
No.
It was a throwaway. Originally, the record company didn't want to do it. Next thing you know, it's their big fucking hit. And to this day, it's one of their signature songs. You know, that's what a local guy like you can do for someone like us, because it gives, you've got a congregation.
Yeah.
You've got people that know you, respect you, and not saying it's going to blow up, but it can. The possibility is there because you give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, and you see the value in it, and you go, oh man, this is fucking awesome. I got to share it. That's all it takes sometimes.
Yeah.
We're talking about Fuente. That's what happened with them.
Somebody
That's what
believed
happens
in
in the music
Yeah.
business. Someone believes in it. Someone takes the chance and goes, man, I'm going to support this. Man, it's thing that dreams are made of, man.
As old as cigars are, and to be honest, it's probably one of the oldest vices known to man outside of alcohol.
Yep.
But let's look at alcohol, for example, right? You got a hat on right now, and it kind of sparked this thought. If you go to the store right now and you go to buy beer, are you more likely to grab something from a local brewery, like Bonehaus? Or are you more likely to grab a mainstream Anheuser-Busch, Coors? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
By the way, great plug for our buddies at Bonehouse, because
I love those guys.
they've got fucking amazing beers.
Oh, and
we play there at their venue too. They got a small venue in Fountain Hills. It's just like a place to go and just hang.
What's the name of the band?
The name of our band?
Yeah, that plays there.
Shotgun Social Club. And we played there.
No, I haven't been there when you've been there.
No.
I would have been like, no way, dude, you kidding me
No,
right now?
I would have seen. I would have
freaked out.
And then
I'd be like, how
before
did I
that,
not notice you?
Before that, we were doing an acoustic trio under a name called the Acousticrats.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have been that
Okay.
one. Yeah, no.
But we were blown away. We did a gig there a few weeks ago. We were expecting, I mean, the place holds maybe
30?
yeah,
50?
30, 40.
30 to 50, maybe.
We had like 60, 70 people jammed
Yeah.
into
So
that
they were
place.
standing
It
room
was standing-
only.
yeah.
It wasn't even standing room. People were actually, some of the regulars were coming in and going, there ain't even a fucking place to stand.
Yeah.
We were blown away.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of support, you know, that
Yeah.
just, but they gave us the venue to do that, you know,
Yep.
because a lot of the bigger places, they want the
Yeah.
name tribute bands or whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
But no, I think to your point with the alcohol thing, I think it's even with whiskeys now.
I think the
And
cigar
bourbons.
industry's going
I
that
mean,
way.
it's I've had several conversations with other lounge owners, online retailers, where they predicted in early 2024 that 2024 and 2025 was going to be the kickoff year where the craft slash boutique. I hate the word boutique. I like using the word craft.
It's what
But-
they use.
I know.
It's been overused.
Yeah, fair.
But they were, a lot of these people are saying that 2024, 2025 is really the beginnings of the next evolution of the cigar industry, where, like we've seen with beer over the past 10 years or so, with the microbreweries popping up all over the place. And again, Phoenix being a big hotspot for it.
Yes.
Big hotspot.
Yes.
Whiskeys, we're seeing a lot more of these smaller distilleries. We're
Outlaw?
seeing, yep,
My dudes down there in Tempe.
yep. We're seeing it's becoming a lot easier and a lot more reasonable to get into that business venture than I think ever before. I know that there are, in the cigar industry, I know that there are brands that go, dude, I ain't got that much money, but I want to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And they go to a factory that makes good, high-quality cigars, and they go, I need a good Connecticut, a good Maduro, a good San Andreas, or a good Maduro. Just send me what you got. I don't need samples.
Yeah, they just
I don't
do
need
it
nothing.
off the menu.
They do it off the menu, but they're at least going to factories that they know are producing like good quality, high quality cigars.
Yeah.
So they're not getting a bunch of dirt crap and you know, Cuban sandwiches, things like that, which there's nothing wrong with a really good Cuban sandwich. But it's a lot more reasonable from a business standpoint to get into this industry from a financial standpoint where you're seeing a lot more of it.
Yeah.
And I think, especially this year, just from my little bubble in the online community, it seems like it's just the craft boutique market is just like exploding.
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of cigar lounges, like I said, you know, going to several different lounges here in the Valley, you're starting to see Blackbird, you're starting to see Family by Loyalty, you're starting to see some of these other smaller brands, Sagrado, you know, what was the Sinistro?
Sinistro,
You're starting to see,
Luciano.
yeah, you're starting to see a lot of those smaller brands, the craft brands, in a lot more lounges, because I think social media. I was just having a conversation with somebody at work.
Social media.
We have for free. If you're not doing paid ads, which in our industry, you can't do paid ads.
Right.
But with social media and the internet, you have the world at our fingertips. And so you can, if you have a product that is good enough or is really good, like I think that our product, I'll put my cigars up against anybody's any day of the week.
Yeah.
Amen.
Any day of the week.
Absolutely.
But if you have a good product that people enjoy, with cigars, this is a lifestyle. This is a community. This is a lifestyle. It's an experience. And if you are providing a product that gives people a positive, good experience, they're right there. You just got to get the message out. And that's where the struggle is.
In marketing.
Is in the marketing in our industry, because you can't do paid ads on Facebook and Instagram. Why? Because it's tobacco.
Yep.
So that's where that big, and that's why when we first started, it was going, you know what, we're not in this to be, you know, uber successful overnight. If it takes 3 to 5 years
on this,
if it takes 3 to 5 years to really get a firm foothold, that just tells us that the foothold that we're on, the foundation that we're standing on, is solid as fuck.
Solid foundation.
And we're going to be able to continue to build upon that.
Yep.
And that's where when we have discussed getting into lounges or online retailers, it's who wants to not only tell the story, but educate their customers when they come in, that want to help tell our story, that are just as jazzed. I know that you don't have just our brand in here, but I know from knowing you for 5-6 years that because it's local, because we have a relationship, because they're fucking good cigars, when people come in, you're going to want to tell them.
Yep.
If they don't buy it, they don't buy it. No big deal.
They're going to know, though.
But you're gonna have that desire and that drive to tell them about that we exist.
Yep.
And that is the magic key. That is the golden ticket, is to be able to work with people that want to teach people and educate people that we exist, because that it's brand awareness. And the more people that know about our brand, the more likely we are to sell more cigars, and to have, selling more cigars is great for me, it's great for you, but it's also great for the customer, because they're going to get a great cigar that tastes great, that they should have a very, very pleasant experience.
Yeah. Ooh. And they'll want to have it again. You know, it's really funny. My very first time doing a clinic tour through Mexico, I was doing a clinic tour with a very well-known bass player, probably not household name, but a guy named Stu Ham. And Stu Ham was the bass player for Joe Satriani and stuff like that. Anyway,
So a session guitarist or a session bassist?
But yeah.
Session and touring.
When you're a session and touring guitarist or bassist, all you got to say that to me, and I just understand that they're goated.
So I remember
They're
our
very
first
good.
time I was down in Mexico, and Stu looks at me and he goes, "You into tequila at all?" I go, "Yeah, but most of the tequilas are just, you know." He goes, "No, they've got this tequila you can only get down here called Reposada. So it's called Reposada. You got to try that. It's more of a sipping tequila." And he knew that I was into sipping whiskeys and sambucas and things like that. He goes, "You got to try the Reposada." I was like, okay. Tried one with a cigar, and we sat around after the gig that night. It was about 300 people at this clinic, and afterwards we sat down, had some cigars, had some Reposada, and I go, "Why isn't some of these Mexican tequilas?" Next thing I know, Sammy Hagar's down in Cabo. He comes up with his tequila, and all of a sudden, the Cabo Wabo tequila went off. He made gazillion dollars on the tequilas.
Cabo Wabo.
And next thing you know, the tequilas are changing and growing because people are going, "Wow, this is a great experience. This is something that's fucking unique and different." Next thing you know, and the way they packaged it and everything, they did it a little different, a little more rock and roll. I remember, who was it? The guy from Saturday Night Live, Dan Aykroyd, did a thing with these skulls. I remember buying one, a skull with
vodka.
With the vodka in it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And
That
I'm
was
going,
his?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going, "Man, this is so cool." I immediately, just because it had a skull in it, I had to go, okay, this is something for me. But again, it was more of a boutique craft. Like boutiques kind of gotten over, but it was a craft vodka that just was such high quality, and it was like, man, this is fucking badass. And so I think people have started, the music industry, with the advent of home recording and stuff, you got more musicians able to get their music out there for their crowds,
That's true.
I know for a small group like us, it was really funny. We 2 years ago, I get an email from a guy in France. He goes, "I don't know if you know it, but your CD was voted #1 in the French area right here, and you won the poll."
Now it was some like backwoods hillbilly place in France, but still,
My people.
right?
Yeah. I mean, the fact that someone totally in a different land is enjoying our music because it's possible for a smaller group to go out and do something like that. And we don't tour. We're not on big tours or anything like that. We didn't even really do any promotions at the time. But yet it's reached, to the point that at age 71, I get a record contract for our CD so that they could put our CDs out throughout the world. And I'm getting emails from Thailand and Indonesia and China from people going, "God, I love your CD. Are you doing another CD?" To the point that we actually had a promoter in Germany called me up one day and said, "I'd like to do a 3-week tour of Europe for your band." And I'm going, "What? We're a nobody band." But they love your CD here and we want to put you on some festivals. Okay, we didn't do it. We couldn't. Different story. But the bottom line is that there was actually that kind of interest.
Yeah.
Just
3-week tour in Europe, bro?
yeah, which was like crazy. I wish we could have done it, but
Now,
that's another story.
I have a lot of people that watch in the UK. So I'm really interested now if somebody in the UK knows your song or your band.
We got a guy that. So I did this record with a couple of buddies of mine out of Detroit called Black Cross Merchants. We put this record out, and we're on one of his Instagrams, and a guy, where is he located?
France.
Yeah.
France.
And he goes, "I love your record. I love your record. I listen to it all the time." I'm going, "What? How did you?"
Because I used one of the songs that's available on Instagram to use
On the Reels?
as music for Reels and stories and stuff, and I used it and I tagged Black Cross Merchants, and this guy like followed the tag to the page and went and
was like, "This
Apple
song
Music
rocks,
or
bro."
whatever, and loved the album, and he's like, "Dude, that's it right there."
Dude,
And
that's humbling is what that is.
When you find just one person even and they're passionate about it, you go, okay, what I did, and the reason I did it
Was for a reason.
was for a reason, and
Yep.
and I'm good. You know.
Yep. Man, that's the whole reason
I let
I'm still
mine go
sitting
out.
here. That's the whole reason I'm still sitting here. Is, you know, I still get emails and phone calls about, you know, the podcast or how the videos, you know, made a difference, seeing, you know, Brad on them and things like that. Like, obviously, I don't make as big of an impact on people's lives as Brad did, but,
Okay,
you
what
know.
am I doing wrong here?
You got a lot of ash on there.
Yeah.
So you're not getting to the.
I am the amateur smoker here.
Yeah, I normally cut like this. Oh.
Part of being an old man, I guess.
Oh, wait, this is how my desk
This is-
always looks,
yeah.
dude. Just ash everywhere because I can't
So-
ever keep ash on a cigar.
It's-
I move around too much.
But same here. Same here. Do you see some of those posts on Instagram where, like, the cigar is smoked down to here and it's all just big ash on it?
Yeah, dude.
I'm like,
they're putting shit through them, bro. They're freaks.
they've got to be doing something.
They carry a coat hanger, dude. Shoving it in there, bro.
They got to be doing. And then I'm thinking,
There's no wind in the room at all, dude. It's a freaking clean room with no airflow.
well, then, like, the big thing to me is I'm going,
Oh,
I know you're not enjoying that cigar. You're paying so much attention to not losing that ash that I know you're not enjoying that cigar. Like, I
Okay.
get if it's like a competition or something like that, but like, I never understood the long ash thing.
I don't even know the science behind how, like, what the right smoking speed is to get the right ash, because there's times I smoke really slow and I get the most beautiful ash in the world
that's my problem. Sometimes I tend
Too
to smoke
slow.
too fast.
too fast. And then you smoke too fast, you get that cone in the
get that
middle,
cone in the
and then
middle,
it
yeah.
falls off just
That's
because
what
of the
happened to
cone.
mine.
Yep.
He's a cone head.
Yep.
So let me ask you guys a couple of quick questions here, and then we'll kind of wrap it up a little bit. This is gonna be a long one. What was the first cigar you guys ever smoked? You remember?
Yeah, my first one was a Romeo and Julieta
Okay.
that I had in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. What a place to have a cigar. So it was an actual Cuban.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a Cuban cigar, and it was nice and mellow, and we had a really rough. So our trips, in fact, Jim went on a 2-week trip through Germany with me when he turned 18.
Yep.
And it's like you leave at 5 o'clock in the morning, drive for 2 or 3 hours, get to the place, do a clinic all day, then have dinner and drinks and everything afterwards. Then you go and sleep for a few hours, get back into the van,
Yep.
pack up your stuff and go to the next place. So by the time I'd hit Amsterdam, I was like burnt out and I just needed to chill. And a buddy of mine said, man, you got to try one of these. And for a while, that was my go-to cigar. And
For a long time.
yeah, for a long time. And then after that, I traveled a lot in Southeast Asia and stuff. And it got to be a point where the whole group of us would just, after we got done working, we'd go find a lounge, get some cigars. And that way I got exposed to different cigars and different people. And then when he started getting into it, he just reintroduced me to it. And now I'm smoking
you're
more
stuck.
cigars. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also finding, you know, unfortunately during my travels and trying different cigars, there were so many that were like, okay, this was nice, but it didn't fucking knock me on my ass.
Yeah.
And when you find that one that you go, oh, this is a great cigar, man, it just makes it, it's kind of like with music. One of the things I do like about the streaming services is I'll go on there and go, I've never heard of this band before.
Yeah.
I wonder what the fuck they're all about. And I'll listen to, next thing I know, I've listened to their entire record and I put it on my playlist. I put it on and I go, wow, I never even knew who these guys were, but now I'm a big fan. And
Now you're going through the catalog.
and the same thing with cigars now.
Yep.
I like that adventure, you know, and meeting guys like you and getting introduced to, I mean, you introduced me to a great cigar last time I was here, you know, one of your house brands. And I was like, holy fuck, I got to buy some of these, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, man, it becomes this passion and this obsession where you go, oh man, because when you have that experience, when you have a great experience, you want to have it again.
Yep.
You want to have that experience again.
Chasing that
again.
dragon.
Yeah. And, you know, and that's the awesome thing about it. And it's not like other obsessions that cost you, you know, I've got some buddies that are big time golf nuts. You know, it's Phoenix, and they spend so much money on golf, dude. Yeah. Oh,
I did not put a simulator in the lounge.
Not see?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
There's not a golf simulator to our left.
No.
Not at all. I don't like golf. It wasn't for me. It was for everybody else.
That's right. Yes, exactly. No, my first cigar was a Ashton White silver label.
Oh, I don't think I've ever had that one, actually.
I don't remember anything else about it other than I was not 18 yet. My buddy Shelton.
Yeah. Shelton.
He was 18. I was 17, and we started. You might not be old enough to remember a thing called beaties.
No,
they were basically very crudely wrapped like clove cigarettes.
Okay.
But you'd buy them in a bundle, and they were like a triangle. It was like a pyramid. And we would go out into the desert, and we would talk about life. We would talk about music and all kinds of stuff. And then
Shelton's a guitar player too. He's got a recording studio down around Houston area.
Yeah. And then one day there used to be a lounge over in Scottsdale called the Village Smoke Shop. And he went in there, he grabbed a couple cigars, and when he came by to pick me up, he goes, "We're going to have real cigars tonight." And I went, "Okay." And that would have been 97.
I was 7 years old.
And that was my go-to cigar for 3 years.
How old I was.
I didn't smoke my first cigar for 11 more years.
11 more years? Good man.
Well,
Good.
we have 3 generations here then.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I was 18 in South Carolina. The Tinderbox.
Do you remember your first cigar?
Rocky Patel Vintage 1990.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's a good starter.
I was born in 90. So I was like, I gotta smoke
You were
this.
born in 90?
Yeah, bro.
We started playing music together in like 1995. 96. Well, actually, we formed it in 95, but we didn't get the current members till 96.
Wait, so you've been playing with the same people since 96?
Yeah.
Off and on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the most part.
It's been me, him, the drummer and bass player, pretty much off and on for 30 plus years, 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the members of Shotgun Social Club.
I feel like that's even harder to do for smaller bands.
It is, and especially as like our drummer is 70. I'm 73. He had heart problems, so he was almost on the heart transplant list and couldn't play.
He didn't play for almost 10 years, 8 years?
No, about 8 years. Yeah.
8 years?
What?
And then all of a sudden, we went to go see our ex-bass player playing in another band over at a place called Handlebar J's in Scottsdale. And he showed up there and he goes, "Hey, I think they'll ask us to sit in." I go, "You can fucking play?" And he goes, "I think so." And I go, "Fuck sitting in. I got everything set up at the studio." Our bass player came up.
He's back, baby.
And we went, and I called Jim up. We got together, ran through about 20 or 30 songs, and our bass player looks at us and he goes, "I guess we got the band back together."
Yep. Yeah, and that first time getting back together, it was just get back together, hang out. And then after we got done, it was like, holy shit. That actually was really good. That was actually really fun.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's exactly what it was, man. You know, and it was like we had never stopped playing together. And we'd done several records together and, you know, and toured and played all over the place. I remember doing a winery up in Lodi, California, man.
The wine country, yeah.
In the wine country, you know, road trip. Me and the drummer driving my old Tundra with a big 12-foot trailer and hauling all of our gear up there. These guys flew in. Now he drove back with us, but it's just road tripping. It's so much fun, you know. The camaraderie there. It's what I found in the cigar community is that camaraderie and that sense of community, man. It's what I crave. It's really what makes my life, you know, it's the thing in my life that keeps me going and going, okay, I got to do more of this, you know.
And the amount of support that we've seen since day one with S&W Cigars is whether it be, you know, our friends and my friends online buying cigars or, you know, sharing, you know, various content, telling their friends about it, has been
Former co-worker, their
he's
families.
been, just welcomed with open arms from the beginning. I mean, I remember the first podcast we did, and we got done, and he called me up, and he goes, "Dude, that was so much fun." He's like, and they're like so cool, and they just were like, "Hey, Jackson, what's going on?" And I've always been here,
Yeah.
and I'm just now stepping my toe into it. And yeah, that's the good people. That's who we deal with. That's who we surround ourselves with is the good people.
And it's what drives us.
Yeah.
There's very few things in this world that are considered great equalizers when it comes to people and men specifically in a room with each other.
Yep.
Right? Music is an equalizer.
Yep.
You might not like the same music as the person sitting in the room, but when it's good, you can appreciate it.
Yeah. That's the whole key. If it's good, you appreciate it.
It may not be something I listen to when I go home.
No, well, and it's funny. It's like I write and play in a certain style, but my tastes for listening have expanded so wide.
Yeah.
I mean, a good buddy of ours, his son makes a living and it's got like tens of thousands of followers. He does heavy metal versions of video game music.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yep.
And it is so cool, and he's one of the coolest dudes. And it's like,
That's brilliant.
I probably would never have listened to that previously, but getting introduced to it, getting introduced to him and the other people, it's like, I listen to it now, and I love it, and I enjoy it. I'll put it on, and I'll watch his videos on YouTube and stuff, and go, this is just so cool. And you get exposed to, and you said something earlier that was key. If it's good, and you have a great experience, you want to have that experience again.
Yep.
And a lot of it has to do with the people. And it's not necessarily that it's something that's your go-to or whatever, but it's a different and new experience. And you go, oh, I like this. This is awesome.
Made me feel fuzzy.
Yeah, exactly. You feel part of an expanded family. And that's really what it's about.
Yeah, I'm pretty blessed in the way of like when it comes to music, it's very wide.
Yeah.
I have a very wide music taste. There's not a lot of country in my repertoire per se, but that's just, I grew up listening to it a lot, and I
didn't listen to country at all until I married my wife, and it was like we were the quintessential Donnie and Marie. I'm a little bit rock and roll, and she's 100% country.
Yep.
And all of a sudden I started learning about some of the classic country guys, Merle Haggard and
see, that's country music right there, bro.
That's
George
country.
Strait and Bob Wells and the Texas Playboys and
Hank Williams
and Patsy Cline. Oh man, I'm huge
Patsy
Patsy
Cline, Tammy
fan.
Wynette.
Yeah, and all of a sudden I'm going, holy shit, I fucking like country.
Yep.
And I would have never, and then all of a sudden I got an opportunity playing up in Alaska. This band came and recruited me from another band that I was playing in, saying, hey, I know your gig's ending here. We want you to come play in our band. And I said, okay, cool. And they gave me this song list. I go, what's this? And they go, well, Monday through Thursday, we're a country band, 100% country. So you're going to have to learn a bunch of country stuff. And I went, I've never played country in my life, but I listen to it now because of my wife. So, and then they go, on the weekends, we need someone that fucking just pick it up. We got all these merchant Marines and the Coast Guard, all these young guys coming in. We got to play straight up rock, and you're the perfect guy to lean us into that. And so we became a country band for half the week, and then we became doing Van Halen and Ozzy and all that stuff, White Snake on the weekends. It was crazy. It was like, Dr. Heckle and or,
Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, and it was like, but
Dr.
it's so
Jekyll.
fucking, and I even got more
Yeah, that's it.
as I'm learning some of those country licks and stuff. It expanded my guitar palette just incredibly. So, is country my go-to? No, I'm a fucking hardcore rocker. But man, there are times I'll just put on. There's a song called Tennessee Whiskey, and every time I hear
bro.
that,
Chris
crank
Stapleton.
it,
Tennessee.
turn it up, man, and I love this. Or old George Jones. One of my favorite George Jones songs is a song called "He Stopped Loving Her Today," and I fucking cried when I first heard that song, And the whole, not to blow for anybody, but if you want to go check out George Jones, "He Stopped Loving Her Today," it's about a guy that was so in love with this woman, but he stopped loving her because he died. And they put a wreath upon his door, and it was so heavy, and I was going,
Wow.
oh man, this is just, it was brilliant. I must have played that record over and over for 2 or 3 weeks, just saturating myself in what makes this such a fucking great song.
Wow.
And I learned so much doing that. And it's the same thing.
One of the things for him when it comes to songwriting, no matter what genre, he definitely leans into the songs that tell stories.
Yeah.
That are not like the typical like Poison, Motley Crue, where it's sex, drugs, rock and roll,
Love Gun.
Yeah, but like you go back and you look at pretty much every single Bon Jovi tune. They're mini stories.
Yeah.
They're the way that they're written are mini stories. That's why it was so easy for them to transition and for him to transition into a country world.
Yeah, you got me thinking like Steve Miller and all those guys.
They're stories, and like from a songwriting standpoint, that's how he writes lyrics.
Okay,
is their stories, whether it's his own story or if he's pulling from a movie or a trilogy like the Lord of the Rings stuff,
or just a newspaper.
And that's where country has always been. Up until bro country typically has been
not into bro
has
country.
been very much about telling stories. You know, that song that he was talking about, you know, Stop Loving Her Today. It's a story. It's a mini movie. You can close your eyes as you're listening to the lyrics, or you read the lyrics, and you close your eyes. You can see the scene playing out in your head.
Yeah,
like
the first line, you know, he stopped loving her today. They put a wreath upon his door, you know. Soon they'll carry him away. And it's like, oh, fuck. Gotta, you know. Songs like that, you just...
That's like when I first learned about... Because the intro to MASH is legendary.
Yeah.
Legendary. Do-do-do-do.
Yeah.
But then when you look up... I'm getting chills. When you look up the lyrics, suicide is painless.
Yeah.
It brings on many changes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Bro. Powerful.
Yeah.
Well, and I love the songs that have a lot of multiple meanings that you can make personalized. Ozzy Osbourne's, you know, Mama, I'm Coming Home. Jeez. I mean, that song, when you listen to the lyrics and the whole thing, it can be about so many different things, including, you know, his recent death, you know, where I'm coming home, man.
Yep.
You know, and those are masterpieces, and those are what, and to me, it's that same experience, camaraderie, community, everything that I found in the cigar community.
Yeah.
You know, I never thought that I would, you know, I mean, I've been a musician all my life. Since I was 9 years old, I started playing professionally when I was 11. And I mean, the band I was in opened up for some major names. James Brown and the Blue Flames.
He's got some names in his pocket, trust me. This will be a continued segment with Pops, trust me. It's going to have to be.
But the thing is, you know, I became obsessed with that as a kid. And since Jim and I have been working, you know, together and getting it, the cigar community is like, I just been sucked in and gone, oh, this,
my people.
It's like the mafia. Once you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
Hey, you're part of the family.
Yeah.
You do it, you do it, you do it.
Next week, you sit down with Tony, you know? Make it official.
They try to get out and they suck me back in.
And you like the Sambuca?
You like the Sambuca, you better have the three coffee beans.
You better have the 3 coffee beans, huh? He pulls them out of his shirt pocket and don't worry about it.
Yeah. There you go, man. Hey.
That was my experience living in like Cleveland for a little while, because my stepdad was involved with a very big bridge painting company.
Yeah.
And the guy that owned the bridge painting company at the time was heavily involved in Greek mob.
Oh. Ooh.
And so Youngstown, Ohio used to be like that was where the Italian mob was at.
Yeah.
But when all the steel left Ohio, Youngstown's a ghost town.
Yeah.
They all moved out to like Cleveland, Parma,
I remember when that happened.
in those areas. So when I lived in Medina outside of Cleveland for a little while, I could spend a lot of time around some people in the mob, bro. And it's a very interesting, you would never know.
No, well,
until the weird stuff
until
happens.
You do know.
Yeah, until the weird until he falls down some stairs in a coffee shop and then magically he died because he had an aneurysm, right? Like he was pushed down them stairs, bro.
The stories we can tell. This is going to end up being a 3-hour video, you know.
Oh yeah, that's why I said it's already at 2. So yeah, but yeah, I'm a huge fan, and dude, just being able to potentially have you guys on later and do more stuff with you guys, even just in the stories.
You're going to be sick of us after a while.
Nah, bro. Nah. Once we sit down some more and like talk and have more conversations and start unleashing all the stories and stuff that you guys got.
Well,
that's all.
And the stories you got too, man.
I got some. I got a little bit. I've been around a little bit. My stories aren't as cool in some aspects, right?
That's
like,
every time. So I used to do a thing every Sunday morning, the coffee and smoke show. And when we started the cigar company, it was about 6 months after we really got launched going, and he started jumping on the lives. And I would start pulling him in. And it literally was like an hour and a half of him just fucking telling stories. And I was like, I just kicked back, put my feet up, enjoyed my smoke while he went off. It got to the point
didn't do it intentionally.
I hear him. We're sitting in the lounge the other day talking. You know, you guys dropped off the cigars, and we're sitting here talking, and he's just like dropping like, man, I was on tour with this guy, and I saw this guy, and I'm like, what the?
That's what I
hung out with this dude.
So everybody started DMing me going, hey, is your dad going to be back on next week? Is your dad going to be on next week? So I had to create a story time with Jackson segment.
All right, Dad, you get an hour and a half.
You get 30 minutes. Find a story that'll be about 30 to 45 minutes, right in the middle.
And then I'd go, okay, I wonder which story, because there's too many of them.
Well, then he's got to figure out, okay, which ones can I actually tell in a live setting?
Fair. Fair. Well, that's like, so I'm living in Ohio. There was a very big spike of Christian screamo bands.
Yeah.
We Came as Romans, really? Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's a couple others. My cousin was in a small screamo band in high school called Forever Unspoken. They put one album out, little EP, and they opened for guys like The Sleeping Giant, We Came as Romans, Devil Wears Prada, and I met some of those guys at some of those really small venue.
Yeah.
And it's like, now these guys are like huge. Yeah. And not a group of people I would normally listen to, but what it did is when I heard them play that night, I knew who We Came as Romans were. They've been around a long time, big Christian band. But I found, like you said, researching, just looking through the streaming services. I use Apple Music mostly. And
I use Amazon.
I found Punk Goes Pop.
Oh, wow.
So guys like We Came as Romans would redo songs like Call Me Maybe from Miley, was it Miley or whoever did that? Carly Rae Jepsen or whatever?
Yeah.
And they would be like, so you threw your wish in the world. And I'm like, oh, this is dope, dude.
That'd be awesome.
Or they redid Taylor Swift. We knew.
Well, who was it that redid
when you walked in?
Yeah, who redid Sound of Silence by
Disturbed.
Hearing that, after growing up on Simon and Garfunkel and
to me, I like their version.
Yeah.
But I miss the harmony.
Yeah,
I miss the harmony. Like if they would have added the harmony, even in just a couple of key spots, to bring that element back into it with that little bit more heavy, angsty, modern angsty.
Yeah.
That would have made it for me.
Well, we can always critique different people, but the fact that they took a song like that and moved it into a totally different genre.
Yeah.
Dude, Weird Al, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a legend.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like freaking music, man.
Oh, Metallica doing Stone Cold Crazy by Queen.
Queen, yep.
Oh, I was like, damn.
Yep.
But, yeah, we could talk music and cigars and life for hours, dude.
Speaking of
hopefully
cigars,
we'll get to.
Speaking of cigars, dude, this Habano's great, man. I love this cigar. It's definitely my favorite of your three. I like all three of them. I love the Maduro. This is my favorite.
Mine too.
About the second, third, it'll pick up a little bit more in the spice, a little bit more of that woody bite.
Yep.
And it continues all the way through the second, third. When you get a little bit into the second, third, you get a little bit more leather. And then it stays a little bit more prominent going into this final third. It gets a little bit more hot, a little bit more spice, a little bit more wood. a little bit more bite, but until this point, it's mostly pretty smooth, pretty enjoyable. No real big outside. It's not real woody. It's not real spicy. It's not real bitey.
It doesn't hit you over the head with a baseball bat.
And it's not overly creamy. It's not too sweet.
But yet there's a
smooth.
transition experience
all three
in
times.
that. All three times.
All 3 times. 100%.
And nothing. The thing that really stuck out to me, especially with that one, is there's a lot of flavors in there. Mm-hmm. It is not a simplistic cigar, but I loved it that it was so well balanced that nothing really overpowered anything else. And certain puffs you'd get a little bit more of this, other puffs you'd get a little bit more of that, other puffs it would kind of calm down a little bit, but nothing ever really like overpowered so much to where you were missing some of the other flavor notes in there.
I would say the only thing that might be more prominent when you get to here is the leather. Other than that,
For sure.
I wouldn't say anything like you. I would say other than that, everything is super balanced. But here, definitely a little bit more leather in it.
And for me, I get
like
a little
it.
bit. I get
pleasant.
that at that stage. I get leather and like super strong coffee.
Yeah. You even like a little bit of like a dark, like a cocoa even.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Like a semi-sweet chocolate.
Yeah. So Brad he wouldn't really catch leather notes per se. He would always equate it to being like a lighter cocoa note, like a chocolatey note.
Mm-hmm.
Like a cocoa bean.
Almost. Yep. A little bit more raw.
Yep, I get that too.
I'm like, you don't just lick your belt?
This has been fun.
No, I always loved the Bradisms when he would go into like wacky descriptions of what he was tasting. I would just sit and watch and go, Bradley, why?
I wish I would have met.
Pancakes! Anytime he mixed bourbon with a cigar, he tasted pancakes.
Oh,
Yep.
jeez.
Pancakes.
Have you seen that clip from the new Spinal Tap where they go, "This is the new Rock Hall specifically for Spinal Tap," and it's basically an IHOP that says International House of Rock, and so they were on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and it was really funny. I can't remember who said it, but one of the guys said, "I don't know why, but every time I watch this, I want pancakes."
That would have been.
It's the character David St. Hubbins.
David St.
but
Hubbins.
I can't remember his name.
His real name.
Name. But anyway,
I digress.
yeah.
I digress.
This has been awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I can't wait to see how my community receives these, and I can't wait to share
Yeah,
it
we're
with
excited
everybody.
to hear that too.
And we're gonna have you
We
guys
love the
back some
feedback.
more for sure. Definitely, we gotta have you guys back on just to have some more story times and just to change it up a little bit. I don't
It's a
really
good
do much
hang.
of that anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of it's me and a couple of the other guys coming in and talking, but I want to have more conversations like this where we're just sitting down, talking about stuff, sharing, our vision of what's going on in the industry from my perspective, your perspective, the Phoenix market, and yeah, man. I also have some cigar tours that come through twice a month, and I'm super excited to start sharing the local stuff with everybody that comes through on the tour, because they don't get that anywhere else, bro.
Yeah.
There's no other shop in the valley that they can go to and say, these are only local brands
Yeah.
that you can support, guys, local here in Phoenix.
And we would love to also when
Come
those
through
start
one of them?
get
Yeah.
scheduled, once a month or once every other month, we'll come in and hang out while the tour's coming through.
Bro, that'd be sick, dude.
That'd be cool.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'd love to meet some of the people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, they're starting to get some traction. This will be the third one, and the fourth one will be this month. And then we'll see how it goes. And if it starts rolling real big, we'll go next month. But yeah, Phoenix Cigar Tours.
Awesome.
Check it out.
Yeah, they take out, they go through I think they go to 6 or 7 different cigar shops. They even do like a rolling experience at one of them.
Yeah.
They come here, they get a little bit of a history education, and then they check out some other cigar shops with more upbeat vibes, more club vibes. They go to a couple that are more speakeasy, kind of vibes, and it's a really neat thing. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait to see how this works and just see more of you guys even,
Well, same
And
here.
Bro, so I had a funny look earlier while you were talking, and I kind of looked at Pops kind of weird. I kind of went like this, and I think he saw me have an idea. But I was like, man, I wonder if Bonehouse would let us come out and do a cigar event, and you guys play music.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if they can.
I don't know
cigars.
Because it's mostly outdoors.
Yeah, but because
Fountain
it's
Hills.
in Fountain Hills,
They got a law or something.
I'm the property management may have.
Problem with that.
Yeah.
Because I know me and Brad shot a video there a long time ago and smoked cigars outside and ate food from a barbecue truck that was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Brad spilled beer everywhere. He knocked over a porter.
Well, the owner is a friend of mine. I'll reach out to him and talk to him about
Yeah, I would love to find out about
I'll
that.
introduce you to him too.
And I know I'm pretty sure they have got a mobile unit that
Yeah,
they
they
go
do.
and do a bunch of stuff like
I would
the
love to
Fountain
even have
Hills
them
art
here.
stuff. Doing something here.
Yeah. I mean, October's coming up, right? Like
That's right.
Oktoberfest,
That's
something
right.
like that. I mean, technically now it's Oktoberfest, but... Yeah, bro, there's a lot going on here, man. I got
The
too much
gears
stuff
are
going on, bro.
turning.
I got too much going on. I need to, like, narrow it down and just start doing this and this and this.
But you know what? That's what's exciting about it. The fact that you're having, we could do this, we could do. That's what's exciting, because what would be a real drag is if you sat there and go, gee, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
What am I going to do with this stuff?
Yeah.
What
That
am I
ain't
gonna
this.
do?
We've been talking about doing a car show.
Yeah. Well,
So-
gee, I'd love to have our buddy
Yeah.
Rick come over here, who's got his car club, and they do all. He could talk cars and cigars because he smokes our cigars too. So.
Yeah.
We'll have to do some thinking through
We're
this
gonna
next
have
year
to.
here.
We're gonna have to put our thinking caps on for
Yeah.
some cool shit, man.
We'll make it happen. And by the way, a little plug for our buddy. You want to check out some great craft beers? Check out the Bonehouse in Fountain Hills.
If you guys are in Phoenix,
Yep.
they're very good.
Yeah.
Very good. One of my favorites,
I've been
actually.
told.
One of my favorites.
Well, guys, that's been Zeal Cigar Review with S&W Cigars, Jim and Jackson. And guys, I can't wait to share these with you. And with that, guys, we're going to get out of here, let these guys go, and I got to get back to work. Peace.